tonight, back out here, sanding the epoxy up, because we finally got some filler here, so we can now move on, really crack into it, and get stuff ready for red or top coat. This is probably one of the first major jobs that I've done like this. The way I started was bare metal, clean it, make sure the metal's spotless, and then filler, and then primer. These days, everyone started to drift away from that, and with good reason. The other way still works. It's not an issue at all, but this way just seals the metal off and pretty much gives you a clean slate to start with. So that's the reason I've gone this way, and yeah, I feel a bit more confident about it. So this epoxy is the Jurrasic Dulux P14. So yes, it is industrial paint. Some people are going to go, fuck's sake, right? I'm pretty happy with this primer. A lot of people will flip their shit and go, oh, you're using industrial on a car. Well, at the end of the day, if it's got what it needs in it, use it. So anyway, and you'd hate to see what I'm using for top coat if you're worried about me using industrial primer. So anyway, pillars, top of the roof, bit all around the back, and the front pillars need a bit of filler, mainly just because I've done repairs there, and I pretty much want it to look like nothing's ever been sort of done to that area. Plus, yeah, you wouldn't go to all this trouble and just leave it looking like shit. So that's what we're doing here. Slowly sanding it back. It's good. I finally get to use my new Durablock sanding pads, or blocks, sorry. So I've been wanting them for years and finally got them, so it's good to finally use them. Come through here. I've got some parts finally, well, some bits and pieces turn up. So body filler. So originally I got that through one mob, didn't turn up, so I ended up getting my money back and got it through Melomotive, which is this crew here. So they've been really helpful and really easy to deal with. Like getting all my sanding stuff and bits and pieces and whatnot, and yeah, pretty happy with it. Plus, you can't go past a mob that sells these stickers with bagged F trucks on them, so can't complain with that. So yeah, I've gone for the 3M filler, basically because that's what I used the last few jobs. Pretty happy with it, easy sanding, doesn't leave any pinholes, and it's just a good all round filler. And if you work underneath fine, you'll never have an issue. So I have used Rage Gold before on my earlier stuff, more than happy with that too. I think it's now Rage Ultra or something, it's the next one, and it's really easy sanding too, and I've seen good things with that. But I've used the 3M filler, so that's what I'm going to stick with for this one. Also got some sanding pads, so I needed some 500s and also needed some more 120s because we did a shitload of sanding with 120 doing the prep of the cab to actually get the primer on. So the reason I'm going for the blue is, yeah, stock's a little bit slim at the moment, especially with COVID. There's a lot of places where things are just scarce because supply isn't there at the moment. Also, I've got some soft hands, so this is 500 grit sandpaper, but it's padded on the rear, so it comes in a big roll. This was actually from the local paint shop, and the reason I did that is it's really good when you finally get around to prepping all the primer ready for paint, and you don't lose your fingers, because the last thing you want is just to be pretty much, yeah, back to the first knuckle or whatever, because you've been prepping the whole body for the 10th time, and yeah, it's sort of, yeah, it gets old pretty quick. Also, I've got these foam pads, I can't remember the exact name. Basically they're a soft back and then Velcro front, so this side will stick to your Orbi, and then your sanding discs will actually stick to here. You can actually use it by hand as well, it's actually pretty easy to use, and that also saves your fingers. But the reason I'm using this, I've already got one on the Orbi next door, and that's basically, if you're only wanting to sand the primer, you're not wanting to break through, and you're going around edges and different shapes, it kind of folds and conforms to it. It stops you from breaking through all around the edges and whatnot, so definitely a handy thing to have. And yeah, finally got them. Also, yeah, I finally got a 10 pack of steel applicators. so pretty much spring steel, I'm guessing. Oh, because yeah, if it was panel steel, yeah, you'd bend that and it'd stay there. So 10 pack's really handy, especially if you've got multiple fillers, like a fine filler and a heavy filler and whatnot. You always find that you're running out. At the same time, if you lose one, same issue. So got a 10 pack of them, so that'll be pretty handy. It's been quite a while since I've actually had to do any body work. I've basically just been cutting F-trucks up, doing metal work, and repairs on Corollas and all that sort of shit. So yeah, slowly getting back into it.
It's the M.I. cricket letter, ain't no one better. And when I'm on the microphone, you best to wear your sweater, cause I'm cooler than the polar bear's toenails. Oh hell, there he go again, talking that shit. Bend corners like I was a curve, I struck a nerve, and now you about to see the southern player serve. I heard it's not where you from, but where you pay rent. Then I heard it's not what you make, but how much you spend. You got me bent like elbows, amongst other things, but I'm not worried, cause when we set up in the party like I'm out, you scurry. So go get your fucking shine box and your sack of nickels. It tickles to see you try to be like Mr. Pickles. Daddy Fat Sacks, B-I-G-B-O-I is that same motherfucker that took them knuckles to your eye. And I try to warn you not to test, but you don't listen. Giving a shout out to my Uncle Donnell, locked up in prison.
Now throw your hands in the air and wave them like you just don't care. And if you like fish and grits and all that pimp shit, everybody let me.
What I'm going to do now is sand up the firewall. So basically just anywhere where I've done hole, like filled a hole or anything like that, basically that's what I'm doing. And also I've fiddled around here. This is actually all pushed in. I'm guessing that's just the way it was pressed, but anyway, I've pushed it back out to get it somewhat level, just to sort of get it back to where it needs to be. But basically this will just need only a few touch-ups of filler, and it'll be pretty much right.
The alienators, cause we different, keep your hand to the sky. Like sounds of blackness when I practice what I preach, it don't lie. I be the baker and the maker of the piece of my pie. Now break a tenfold, can I get some reply? Now everybody say,
throw your hands in the air and wave them like you just don't care. And if you like fish and grits and all that pimp shit, everybody let me hear you say, oh yeah. Now throw your hands in the air and wave them like you just don't care. And if you like fish and grits and all that pimp shit, everybody let me hear you say, oh yeah.
Every day I sit while my nigga be in school, thinking about the second album at the dungeon, shooting pool like ES to the PN, cause we just to the B in the zone. Honey, I'm home, but I'm not married, carried a lot of problems round, being frustrated. And now I'm sitting at the end of the month, I just made it like you made the B team. And like your daddy's wife, you making a coffee. You heard the AT alien, so back the hell up off.
softly as if I played piano in the dark. Found a way to channel my anger, not to involve. The world's a stage and everybody got to play their part. God works in mysterious ways, so when he starts the job of speaking through us, we be so sincere with this here. No drugs or alcohol, so I can get the signal clear as day. Put my Glock away, I got a stronger weapon that never runs out of ammunition, so I'm ready for war, okay?
Throw your hands in the air and wave them like you just don't care. And if you like fish and grits and all that pimp shit, everybody let me hear you say, oh yeah. Now throw your hands in the air and wave them like you just don't care. And if you like fish and grits and all that pimp shit, everybody let me hear you say, oh.
I didn't realise that it was this long since last time I filmed, and sort of just been cracking into it, getting as far as I can. So I set myself a bit of a goal, so I'm sort of trying to get there. And yeah, you saw last time I put the filler on the firewall, laid all that out. So it's probably been a little while now because it's all sanded up and looking pretty good. So it's ready to be primed again. And then once that is all done, I'll prep it and it'll be ready for some colour. So I'm keen as, because yeah, we need to fill this space here and there's a heap of parts coming for that. So that's all going to happen very soon as well. That's the firewall done. So moving on, come around here. So I've still got to do inside the doors, do a bit of filler work and just tidy up all my repairs. But I'll get them off soon and look at that. The idea was to get the inside done, so both pillars across the roof, all done. A few bits across the back as well, just where I filled holes and there's been a couple of dents and whatnot, just to sort of level it out and make it look pretty tidy. A little bit on the front pillars, up near where the visors go, just little imperfections and that just, yeah, it's going to look nice in the dark colour, so I don't really want it full of just shit looking dents and massive daggy spot welds and shit. So for the extra 5 minutes. That's the way I look at it. Also, around the drip rail, also leveled it up a little bit, just where I've done a bit of work. And yeah, a little bit sort of down here where I've done those patches. They didn't really need much, so I was pretty happy about that. So all that stuff's pretty much right to get a second coat of primer on. And then yeah, once all that's done, prep it, get ready for some colour. So come in here. So this is probably what took the most time, was the inner guards. So it looks like a shitload of filler, but it's mainly just a little bit here and there. It's not very thick at all. It's mainly just to clean up stuff. And where I've welded up holes, and these obviously got crunched. This thing must have been sort of crashed at some point. Chassis wise, it's all good. It's just the body was a bit sort of beaten up. And these probably took a fair bit of the damage, so bit of filler just to level things out. It's still going to look sort of pressed and whatnot, but just a little bit sort of smoother, bit more level, and not just full of shitload of imperfections and whatnot. So that's the reason I've done that. And again, they should look pretty good, especially going a dark colour. It's definitely going to show up everything and make it look just 3 times as shit. So if you can level it out a bit, it's not too bad. So this side, same thing, just leveled everything out. This one's probably a bit more sort of wanting to get everything level, just because it's the squarer side. The other side's got all the rounded edges and whatnot. So they're all straightened out, filler, so they'll get another coat of primer as well. Bonnet's fine, front radiator panel's fine. So yeah, they should be pretty much right to just prep up and get ready for paint. I've had a few more bits turn up, so what I've done is gone out and bought some more sanding blocks, so Jurrablock, sanding blocks. So these are the radius ones. So I found a couple of times that I actually needed blocks like these. So I got the long one, or medium size, and the short one. And just a radius is good for sort of going in curved places, and especially with the big body lines on these things, these fellas here, it's going to be perfect for it. So you sort of nicely in there. It's a lot easier to sand and sort of get that whole curve, especially down here as well. So reason I bought them. The only thing is they weren't the Velcro back ones, but I'll get the sticky back Velcro and that should be right. Also got another one of these little blocks, the little flexi blocks. They're just really handy to have. Good for wet sanding and all that sort of stuff. So definitely worth getting a couple of those. Got some tack cloths, so I'll try them out. I haven't really used them too much in the past, but yeah, a lot of people do, so worth a shot, and for what they cost. Also got some more sanding discs, so some 120 and 240. So I ended up spending up a little bit more and got myself a new spray gun. So yeah, gravity fed. So this isn't the top range spray gun, like your $700+ spray gun. This is only about 250 bucks, which is a good mid-range gun, and I actually really like it. Everything's really nicely done, and yeah, I like the stainless pot on it. I don't really like the plastic ones too much, but either. You can actually change these out so that you've got the pots, say pretty much when you spray, when you finish with it, chuck the pot out and put another one on. They come in like a kit, so that may be an idea in the future if I get any busier with it. Comes with a reg and everything, but yeah, it's just a nice solid gun, and it's better than the super cheap auto one that I was using. That one's not bad, but for a job like this I wanted to just get that little bit nicer finish, and this gun's probably going to be the one to do it. So yeah, pretty keen to try that out. Definitely for what you pay, I'm pretty happy with it. So the other thing I've been doing, and this took up a couple of nights as well, is we're probably going to be running dual batteries in this truck. So instead of just building the battery box on one side, and sort of, I'm a little bit OCD as well, so if I end up building a battery box on one side, it's going to look completely different, the stock one on the driver's side. So what I've ended up doing is I've got a second one coming with a heap of other parts off a wrecked truck that was put up on Facebook a while ago. And yeah, the one out of my truck, so this one, what I've done is I've actually knocked the brackets off it, because it's still a solid battery tray. Cut the brackets off, so these ones here. And what I've done is I've actually built new ones, but they're actually flipped. So what I've done there is spun them around. So pretty much I'll set it up. So that'll go like that. So that goes to the radiator support. This one here goes under there like that, goes to the side of the inner guard there, or inner fender. And yeah, I'll weld them on, just plug weld them. And yeah, it'll look nice and factory and sort of match the other side. And just something I wanted to try and do. The only thing was, I really wanted to bead roll all this before I did anything else. But the problem is my bead roll is still not back, and it's down the other shed. So I thought I'll go down there, bead roll it and fold it with my folder. Problem is, bead roll dies are all out here, aren't they? So I ended up folding it and just probably cracking the shits. And yeah, I ended up actually hammer forming these. So these are actually hand done. I did end up going down and running it through the bead roller at the end, like in the end of it, but that was mainly just to clean them up a little bit more. But yeah, this is all hand formed. So all I did was get a piece of wood, ground like a trench into it, and then what I ended up doing was, if I can find them, I built these two little, I don't know if you call them drifts or just punches, but basically just a piece of round bar, radius the ends, welded on another piece of round bar, a little bit bigger one. So yeah, pretty much set it up on the wood, so where I wanted it was actually above the trough. Set it up, basically hammered the, what you call the bead roll into it. And yeah, it turned out not too bad. Like, it is a little bit rough compared to sort of the original one, but more than happy with how it's turned out. And yeah, pretty happy that I actually got to do it by hand forming it. And then yeah, this top lip, I just, yeah, hammer formed that round. So that was actually, yeah, just done with a hammer and dolly. And also the side of the workbench. So they should be pretty much ready to weld on now and sort of, yeah, get this set up. So I've welded through primed it, so they'll be ready to go. Stick them on there like that. Once all that's set up, I'll drill out here to where I need to mount some mounting screws. Also in here, while everything's in sort of half bare metal. And then yeah, I'll go through, spray it all, and then it should be nice and sealed. So that's what I want to do, just because we're going to be running electric hydraulic pump and everything for the tray. Also, we're going to have electric winches, truck electrics, and then you pretty much, yeah, everything else is sort of running off it. So yeah, it was just a no-brainer to go a dual battery, but I just wanted to see if I could actually build a reverse set of brackets for the battery tray. Just try and keep that sort of factory-ish look, and yeah, I think we've got it pretty well. So what I'll do now is clean up a bit, and then yeah, I'll start welding them brackets on.
Surface the pen lands on, Daiquiri's hands on. What's the beef? The coolie high code chiefs, high post techniques. I drape off poetic landscapes and shapes. Illustrate the paper space off the pens that paint. Then design what habit, National Geographic or magic with tailor-made status and plus flavor that's automatic.
Without falling, we take it back to the days of yes, y'allin'. We're holding on to what's golden.
On the stage, I rage and I'm rolling.
We're not falling, a shot calling. We take it back to the days of yes, y'allin'. We're holding on to what's golden.
On the stage, I rage and I'm rolling.
Melancholy, mundane, sauteed, a hot flame, big rings, fat chains, they all quest for the same. No name, huge fame, strictly new to the thing. We stay true to the game and never bring it to shame. We tight like dreadlocks, a red fox and ripple. We pass participles and smash the artist in you. The saga continues. This I won't get into, cause there ain't enough bars to hold the drama that we've been through.
Yo, we still the same.
So that's the battery tray out of the way, all finished up. Pretty much as far as I'm going. So yeah, it's not perfectly cleaned up, but it's going to get a good hit of primer. And then, yeah, basically some black, so not getting too sort of over the top with it. But yeah, it's turned out not too badly. I am going to always pick my work. The only thing I'm sort of really picking on this now is the bead rolls. So because I had to hammer form them and I was probably in a bit of a mood, not giving a shit and taking me time, you compare it to this piece here. So the bottom big roll is a bit longer, and at the same time this line here has more of a kink and is a lot shorter, where mine's more rounded and a bit longer. But it is what it is. I'm not getting too distraught over it. So if I was to build another one, then yeah, I would measure it out, do it all legit. But at the same time, next time I'll have me bead roller, because that was the biggest pain in the ass not having that. So anyway, that's pretty much done, right to go. So yeah, bring it over here. So this is the passenger side. So pretty much fit him on there like that. So yeah, it lines up at the front there, bolts the side there. All I do is just run some big washers so they don't fall through. A couple of bolt holes through the bottom there. And yeah, ready to go. So that's pretty much how that looks. And to show that it's backwards now. So you got two holes there, new ones at the front. So yeah, definitely doesn't fit anymore. But I've got an original one on the way, so yeah. So that's pretty much going to look like that, sit in there. That'll be the dual battery setup. So another sunny day in Portland. It's looking pretty good today. Bit of a rare occasion. So everything's all set up. Inner guards are right to go. Battery tray, cab, front end, all that sort of stuff. So just had to paint, hooking in front of the jet heater, just to help it lay on a bit better. Gun and everything's right to go. So what I'll do now is I'll get the paint mixed up and we'll get into it.
Yes, sure, we moving up the speed of light. Illuminate the path that we're moving on. Accumulate knowledge out of mouths where we make the people bounce for the music gets around. Yes, sure, we moving up the speed of light. Illuminate the path that we're moving on. Accumulate knowledge out of mouths where we make the people bounce for the music gets around. You leave, you try, you laugh, you cry, you did, you lie, you live, you die, you will, you won't, you feel, you don't, you heal, you crack. I promise still I got your back. You leave, you try, you laugh, you cry, you did, and you lie, and you live, and you die, you will, and you won't, you feel, and you don't, you heal, and you crack. I promise still I got your back.
So everything's all primed, out of the way. It's come up pretty good. So all the inner guards definitely look a lot straighter now. A couple of bits where I'm a little bit heavier with the paint, but just trying to fill a couple of small imperfections. Yes, it's not the right way to do it, but it does work. So anyway, they look a lot better now. So yeah, that's all that done. Come through here. Everything's all painted around, touched up. So yeah, the pillars, they look a lot better now, a lot straighter. Everything's looking all pretty much as it should. So yeah, they should be pretty much right to prep up now and get ready for some paint. Same with the firewall. Firewall's looking pretty good. Looks a lot straighter, a lot neater now, which I'm happy with. So yeah, it's just a matter of prepping it up now and painting it. We'll let that go. We'll go and do some other stuff now and yeah, see where we get at either tomorrow or the next day. Yeah.